It's really beautiful, right? Because it takes the very thing that I was trying to escape before, that I felt so stuck in or victimized by, and now it turns into my secret sauce of my superpower.
Hey, it's Dani here. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited for Jim Beebe, my longtime therapist, to be on the show today. We had a great conversation. We were actually having another conversation and hit record because Jim was asking me some questions about kind of some new things going on in my life and my evolution and all of this. And it's been such a journey, you guys. And you all know life is lifing. Life happens and life is such a journey. In the episode, we're talking about a little bit about messy life transformation certification. If you just feel this nagging nudge that your story was here, like everything you went through, all the stuff that you've been through and you're healing through, and if it's meant for more and it's meant to help people, but you don't really know what that could mean, book a discovery call. This certification is really for those people that feel that nagging pull to use their story to be able to help others in their own life, right? Whether you're going to build a coaching business with it or you just want to get more equipped to be able to help others have transformation when you're with people and giving advice or whatever. So book a discovery call. The link's in the show notes, or you can go to my website, aholymess.com, and click through, book a calendar call. It's super simple, super fun, and we'll just talk about it and dream about it together. I hope you enjoy this episode. I love Jim. He is just one of the best humans and has helped me so much in my life and helped our community so much. So grateful you're here. Enjoy the episode. You guys, welcome back to the podcast. I am so thrilled to have Jim Beebe, my longtime therapist and just superhuman, on the podcast. I know he is one of our favorite guests that comes on and on. So Jim, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so grateful
Thanks,
you're here.
Danny. It's been a moment, huh?
It has. I'm so grateful you're here. Obviously, I mean, I always say this, but like the impact you've had on my life is unmatched and unparalleled. So just really grateful for the impact that you've had.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, if you get anything out of this podcast, like from me, which I'm so grateful, trust me, I love it. I love the impact, but like you're hearing Jim through me. I've learned a lot from this guy. He's worked with you.
We all stand on what they say, shoulders of giants, right? So everybody goes back, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Jim's such
Mhm.
a humble guy, so he doesn't like to take a lot of credit for stuff. But the reality is like just the impact that he's had over the years on my life is unmatched. Jim, so grateful. I love sharing you with my people. Thank you for being here.
Well, Danny, we wanted to talk today, because there's things happening in your world and what you're putting together that is like super fun, super exciting. But we want to talk about this because I think it parallels in a lot of ways what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
So maybe you could share that a little bit because I think that will help people who are looking at, you have different levels of programs and different things that meet different needs, which I think there's a lot of good stuff. I've always felt like this is a great integration, of bringing things together for people that may not have, other things don't fit as well, or it can be a supplement, right? But let's share with a little bit of this sort of the coaching and that kind of next vision of what that looks like, how that parallels maybe your life, what's going on.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's interesting because I've really been thinking, and if you've been with me from the beginning with the podcast, I just want to say thank you for being with me because I think you've seen the evolution and how my voice has even changed and how my perspective has changed and how the tools that I use have changed and all of that. And I think if you came in, when I started the podcast, if you go back, truly, I think I was in a heavier, darker place, still working through some deep weeds and a lot of shit. I just was working through stuff. And there's a time and a place, and I still get triggered. And trust me, I still am walking through some deep weeds and got some shit I'm working through and all of that. Where I've evolved and where my voice has changed and where my perspective has changed, I think now also working with humans for this long intimately in their own process and what people really actually need. And most of the people who listen to my podcast, which you guys know, you're a listener, your life looks good on the outside. Like you've got your shit together in so many ways, but you've got some pieces internally or a lot of pieces where you still feel like almost like there's chaos and a storm and confusion and you don't know, like, even though you look like you got your shit together and your life looks successful, there's some places inside that you're hurting and all of that. And so like, that's normal. That is like exactly where I've, kind of put my flag in the ground of like, you're safe here. You are welcome here. We will help you figure out your shit together. This is why the podcast is here. But where I've evolved a little bit is, and Jim and I have talked about this and joked about this, and Jim has teased me because, somebody who's worked with you that long gets to tease you a little bit with your and your trauma and your despair and your addiction to depression. Jim would joke that I was a trauma looking for a drama. And the first time he said it, I was like, what are you talking about? But seriously, you guys, I was nothing more than a very traumatized person who was addicted to drama. I was addicted to external drama. I brought drama into my life. And if there was nothing going on externally dramatic, trust me, I was digging up stuff internally because it's how my nervous system was wired and that's what Jim, through his compassion and grace, was trying to just tell me, like, we got to work through this trauma because you're addicted to drama because of it. Jim is a saint because he's been very patient as I've processed through this. But where I'm at now and where I've evolved to and what I'm realizing with people is you can really only look at the past and the for so long. There comes a time where it's like, okay, I mean, it happens and there's a lot of hard things back there and I could drum up some pain and it's there. And there's a time and a place to like really dig into that. But those of us that have been listening to the podcast and you've done your work, you've done your therapy, you've done all the like personal development, you're doing the things and there's still like a struggle. This is where I'm like, what's next? You guys, I am so ready for the people. And where I'm at in my life is, yeah, there's stuff and there's still stuff I'm processing, but what are we going to do with it? How are we going to take the wisdom and the nuggets and then build a really awesome life? I think if you want to really glorify God in this world, be the most beautiful version of yourself, the most expressed version of yourself, the most authentic version of yourself. And to only live in the past and keep circling that mountain about the past is a half life. We have to bring the past with us into the future and build a really robust, beautiful relationship with our future and admit we have more power in this life than we think we do. I lived very powerless because I felt like a victim and I was victimized. We all were. By the way, if you've been victimized, it sucks. You've all been victimized, but you're not a victim. You don't need to live in that because that takes your power away. And so what I'm about now and where my voice has changed, I'm sure you've noticed if you've been listening for the last couple of years, but like really helping you like grab life by the horns, so to speak, and take your power back and tell you like you have more choice, you have more power than you think. And that's why I do what I do. This is what I'm trying to do is help people build really beautiful futures and next chapters in their life. So that's what I'm about. And that's where I'm going. It's like, we don't need to have perfect lives. We don't need to have perfect histories, but we need to be willing.
Or you're really at the stage, Dani, of what now?
Yes.
Right. So there's a what then story and there's a season for that. And maybe there's a revolving season for that, right? Doesn't mean you don't put that away, that you never look at it again. There'll be times that you get triggered and things come up. And there's a place to have truth telling and openness and be heard and be validated, feel your way through it, all that, right? All that stuff. And that may be like the voice that you felt like you had, a year or two ago, more so. Okay. But now you're more saying, okay, but where do we now? What now with this?
What
where do
now
we go?
and what's next? Let's go.
Yeah. What's next? Yeah. How do we redeem it and transform it? Right. So did Richard Rohr said, those who don't transform their pain will transmit their pain. So what's transform my pain mean? All right, that means I'm turning into purpose, turning into growth, turning into gratitude, turning into I've taken my story and it's now sort of metabolized it, I guess, is the way to say it, as best I can, right, one day at a time. But I'm now going, where does it look forward? So the coaching is really like this forward looking. Now, what does that look like to use this? Which is really, you think about it, Dani, it's really beautiful, right? Because it takes the very thing that I was trying to escape before, that I felt so stuck in or victimized by, and now it turns into my secret sauce of my superpower, and that's probably a lot of what the coaching is.
Yeah.
How do you take that and then help other people do that?
Exactly.
How do you take that and now you become that for other people, be a witness and testimony and help them find their transformation of their story into their purpose.
And a lot of people, I think, are at this place in life where they're just sick and tired of the old story and they're ready for what's next. And they're ready to, and you guys, this is the beauty of it. While there's still breath in your lungs, like God's not done with you. There's still more for us to evolve. And this is where I've just been in this evolution. I've been in this amazing, I don't even know how to explain it, but I just felt more connected with God than ever, in that really feeling more directed and aligned and taking aligned action to move forward. I don't think God ever meant for us to dwell in the of the past. And that's what it's all about, redeeming it, restoring us. And that doesn't mean it's still not going to trigger us. We're still not going to have sadness. We're still not going to have struggles, But you guys, we've got to have the mindset, and this is what it is, of like, life doesn't just happen to me, life happens for me. What am I learning? How can I grow? How can I evolve? Who am I becoming in this? Right. And giving ourselves permission. I've got some friends with stage 4 cancer, and I think this is why I'm so passionate about this, because every time I see them, I don't know if that's going to be the last time I see them. So I give them long hugs. I love them. It's amazing. It's powerful. And I think that's why I'm so awakened. I just spent some time with a friend with stage 4 cancer who's on borrowed time. And I think that's why I'm so like, let's go, let's move forward. Let's enjoy, whether you have a day left or 5 decades left or 10, let's go, let's enjoy it. Let's squeeze the life out of life and learning. And you guys, a lot of us have just done a lot of life through obligation, or like we've built beautiful lives and we're like, but I don't really enjoy it. I don't really feel joy. I don't really feel purpose. I don't really feel, and it's like, this is part of this phase of life. And this is part of what's next for all of us, is learning how to enjoy the day, how to be very present with yourself, with your loved ones, with your creator. So many of us are so distracted by the stuff going on internally. And so this is what I'm passionate about. And the reason why I'm passionate about it is because it's my struggle too. I'm fighting every day to be very present and to step into the power of Dani through the power of the Holy Spirit, by the way. Like, there is no Dani without aligned action by God, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's just, I want to be so connected to my creator that I'm empowered, being who I was created to be.
Okay, so you know this, but it's not a black and white thing. Not like people have to say, well, I finally resolved all that, so now I can sign up for the course, right? That's not what it looks like. You carry this stuff with you.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the carry your cross one day at a time,
Yeah.
But more and more you feel more sense of grounded in the present and finding purpose in the present, finding tools in the present. You're able to self-regulate and take care of yourself. Some days are harder, right? Some days you didn't sleep well and your coffee didn't kick in soon enough and your relationship's going sideways, or your trigger out there is a big trigger that day, right? They all of us have that. And we have to have allowance for that. But we hope there's more energy in going forward than in stuck in the past.
Yeah.
I always say the past in time, if we live it well, the past becomes sort of this history and it becomes a story, but not an experience.
Say that again.
Yeah.
That is so good.
So the past becomes a story. It's I own the story. I own it, but I don't live in the experience of it, in the meaning that, like, it's with PTSD, is that I'm continuing to re-experience that past.
Yeah.
Trigger happens, and now my body, a lot of me, will react as if I'm still in that past, right? So I'm living chronically in the depression, or chronically in the anxiety, or chronically in the despair. Like that shitty committee is just, chronically still on me, right? There's times we just need to wrestle and share and bring it in, share with people, find a community of support and grace, continue to process it, continue to wrestle with having grounded people that give me a new experience of what family can be and loving me in that. But we hope over time, right? The weight of that is it just doesn't have the same emotional power over me. I can go back and visit it, and it's not like I'm living in it. A lot of us, we have to literally caretake parents that abused us. It's not uncommon, okay? We now have to show up and be there and try to love them. And this could be super triggering and super difficult, because sometimes they don't age gracefully, and sometimes even worse. But, okay, can I find that self that I'm able to be, what the Bible says, be an overcomer, right? What is that? I'm able to now live and be responsive and not reactive, because I'm at peace with it. I'm at peace with my story. Remember, Dani, this is one day at a time. You, me, everybody, this all looks like a fantasy some days when we're struggling. But more and more, I hope I can move in. It's to me, it all comes back to serenity prayer. I'm able to stay in my lane. I have the tools to take care of myself where I can, and I'm able to actualize and use that for my purpose.
I love that.
That your pain becomes your purpose, the wounded healer stuff, right? And so now I use that, and the program is really trying to help people help people.
Yeah.
Help people take this and then actualize that. What does it look like to join someone in their journey?
Yeah.
You know this, Dani. All of us do this because we're on our own journey. We do it because it helps us, because we're trying to heal ourselves.
Yes.
That's absolutely okay.
It is.
Okay? We try to cop to it and we try to own it. Okay, share it. But that, because of our own struggles, it gives us understanding, empathy, and compassion. But we hope too that we're able to bring hope and future to people.
Yeah. Amen.
And that helping others, I find it, I'm sure you'll find it, I've already found it, helping others brings joy and it actually brings peace to that story.
My God, Jim. Okay, it's funny because I just talked to a woman this week who wants to get certified to become a life coach, but she's like, but I feel guilty because every time I work with people, I just feel so fulfilled. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, do you think I would do this work if it wasn't fulfilling? If it
Right.
stops fulfilling me, trust me, I'm going to go dig ditches or do something else. Like this is,
Right.
it's, and I used to feel like, oh my gosh, I get to make money being a life coach because it's so fulfilling and so amazing. And it's such an experience to carry people's stuff with them and help them figure things out. Like I'm sure, Jim, you feel the same way. Like you actually get to make a living.
It's by giving it away.
Yeah.
It's really this sort of weird paradox, right?
Yeah.
Is that you grow by giving it away.
Yeah.
So this is that wonderful way that, your own, whoever's listening to this, that your own personal journey is benefited and grown by helping other people on their journey.
Oh my gosh.
You find
Absolutely.
community through that. And that's wonderful. They go hand in hand, right? There's days that each of us got to go back and revisit our own self-care and our own struggles and our own choices. Nobody's arrived perfectly, but more and more there's this now, what? What's the next step? And so we're now, and I know you want to encourage people to just reach out when those happen. You can do a discovery call. Just talk about it. Are you at that stage yet? Or are you at a stage that, no, there's some more work you need to be doing before you jump in? Sometimes people can jump in too quick, and yeah, I'm sure you'll direct them, Dani. No, maybe this might be more beneficial. Get in a recovery group or find a counselor, or maybe doing the Feeling Better journey. There may be those pieces, right? And there's a bunch of people that have done a lot of that work. They've been doing it. My guess is the majority of people listening to this have done a lot of work. They've got a bookcase full of stuff and they're readers. But now what? What's this next step going forward?
Yeah.
So we want to encourage everybody to let's check in and do that. And let's find out, go do the discovery call. That's right. That's free. And you can help assess whether they're at the stage of doing that, taking this next step.
And I think that just giving everyone permission to be right where you're at, and that God's not waiting for you to be some finished, perfect product before he's going to use you in the people in your life. And listen, whether you're called to become a life coach and help others and make a living doing it, or you're just called to just pass on your wisdom and your experience, strength, and hope to the people in your life as just your being a human being. You guys, we all have impact. We all have that sphere of influence. And there's people in your life that need what you have. That's the reality of it. And this is why we do the work on ourselves. So we're passing wisdom, not the trauma, right? Like Jim said about Richard Rohr's quote was the quote again.
If you don't transform it, you transmit it.
Yes. You guys, this is what we want to do. We want to transform this pain and then move forward.
I think this is where that trauma-informed counseling, coaching is super helpful.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of coaching out there, Dani, that is probably from the business world. It's a little bit like operational and some pragmatic stuff, good stuff. But the real kind of what we're talking about is that transformational coaching.
Amen.
It's the messy life, right? It's taking all this messy stuff, and how do I help people then in their journey find out what to do going forward? And we help ourselves in our own journey when we do that.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. And this is where it's at. And you guys, none of us want to get stuck in the old stories of our past. None of us want to live as a victim. The reality is sometimes we need help being pulled out and knowing what's next and what tools so that we can move forward, so that we can embrace our life, so that we can embrace even who we are. This is our one shot. This is it. This is your dash, your birth date to your death date that no one knows, but that dash is all we get. That's my goal, is just to help you guys live phenomenal dashes with how much ever time's left in that dash, because that's what I'm after. That's what I'm trying to do in my own life. And that's what it's about.
Just check in. And Dani, tell people again how they do this. Is there a place on your website?
Yeah. So if you're ready to move into what's next, and maybe you don't even know what that is, by the way, 99% of the people that I work with don't know. They just know that there's this draw to what's next. This is why you hire a coach, to help you figure out what is next. Go to my website, aholymess.com, click through the link, book a discovery call. Don't overthink it. Pick a spot. Let's go. We can just spend a little bit of time together and figure out if it's a fit to work together, or if there's something else that I suggest for you to do. But you don't need to figure it all out on your own. I always tell people I'm so grateful for the places that I've invested, because it's given me shortcuts to get where I'm at. This is why we invest in ourselves and in different things, because it gives us shortcuts so we don't have to figure it out all on our own. So if you're interested and you're feeling that tug, book a discovery call, links in the show notes, or go to my website, aholymess.com, and click through, and we'll be there. But Jim, I'm so grateful for you. Thanks. Will you come back again?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Let's do it again. All right.